Alrighty, it's 2 o'clock, so here we are. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, your week is off to a good start. I realize it's been a very short period of time since we started our uh, last video on Saturday, so hopefully the end of your week went well. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about strength training and why it is so important for everyone to do it, not just bodybuilders. So. I mean, big question we all want ask ourselves is if you want to reduce body fat, increase lean muscle mass, and burn calories more efficiently, what do you think that exercise is that you need to do? Most people are going to tell you aerobic activity like running, walking, something like that. Well, this can definitely be a good thing. Um, the secret to getting all of those results is strength training. And the reason why that's so important is because of what it does to your body, how it changes your body so it functions more efficiently, essentially. Um, According to Harvard Health Publishing, around the age of 30, we start losing about 3 to 5% of our lean muscle mass every 10 years. So when you add this up over time, by the time you get to be 60, 70, 80 years old, this can be a significant amount of your body weight and muscle. And um, in order to replace that, to help maintain your weight, your body replaces it with fat. And obviously, this isn't good for your health overall and for your continued longevity. Um, Whereas strength training helps you to not only preserve your muscles, but enhance them. And this helps your body just become better overall. Um, so when you incorporate strength training into your routine, it affects the way your body burns calories um, because it increases lean muscle mass. And muscle burns calories more efficiently than fat, which really doesn't burn any calories. And when you have a more muscle mass and you're burning more calories, then you're also improving your metabolism, which is vital. Your basal metabolic rate, or the amount of calories you burn just every day to sustain life, um, improves. It actually will increase the more lean muscle mass that you have. So this is why by doing strength training, you're increasing this, you're going to increase your basal metabolic rate, and this means you will end up actually helping your body burn calories over the long term just better. Um, so when you're doing strength training, you're also exerting your muscles in such a way that you're getting more oxygen to them because you're increasing blood flow to muscles. And with the oxygen and all of the blood flow that's going through there, you're also getting more nutrients. So this impacts your muscles in a variety of ways. Uh, when you're able to increase oxygen and nutrients to your muscles, it's incredibly important because your muscles can help with um, numerous health benefits other than just your lean muscle mass. When you have better muscles, essentially, is what it is, it impacts your body better than fat. For instance, according to the Department of Health and Human Services, or HHS, along with aerobic exercise, you still need to do some form of aerobic exercise. You can't cut that out completely. Um, Muscle strengthening activities help to improve the blood flow, which reduces your risk of hypertension and heart disease. Um, when you have a lot of abdominal fat, which is also known as visceral fat, this is where increases your risk with cardiovascular disease. That's because if you have a lot of visceral fat, your um, body actually starts producing inflammation. And this inflammation has been shown to damage blood vessels, increase your blood pressure, and lead to many other heart issues. Um, so when you do strength training, such as for your core, like sit-ups and such, planking, then you're actually helping reduce that amount of fat, which reduces the inflammation, which reduces all these other issues with your heart. In addition to when you're actually increasing blood flow, you're helping, get nutrients to these muscles. And visceral fat is also not just associated with heart disease, it's associated with certain types of cancers and diabetes. Um, So by trying to get this reduced, it's incredibly important because of the way it impacts your body overall. Uh, Another great thing strength training does for your body, it helps your muscles' ability to take up glucose, which is essentially blood sugar. It's the energy source that our body uses for pretty much every single thing that our body does. And so your muscles have receptors in them. And so when you've got increased blood flow and it's expending energy or using energy, it needs something to replace it. So it starts taking up the glucose from your bloodstream in order to give it the fuel that it needs to do what it needs to function. And so the more often you exercise your muscles, the better these receptors become at taking in that glucose, which helps get it out of your bloodstream, which means your blood sugar level or blood glucose level is actually going to be lower because it's not circulating in your bloodstream. It's actually being used by your body. And this also means it's not being stored as fat. So right there, that helps reduce your chances of having diabetes significantly. Um, Another very important component of strength training is how it impacts your bones. Uh, just natural aging, as we get older, our bones get less dense and more brittle, which makes them prone to osteoporosis. And this is especially true for women. Women just naturally have smaller, thinner bones than men. And after menopause, when the body stops producing as much estrogen, which protects the bones, they're at an even higher risk of having osteoporosis. I think there's roughly about 10 million Americans who have osteoporosis, and of that 10 million, 80% are women. So this is something that why women should really be focused on strength training, because strength training actually increases your bone density, which reduces this risk of osteoporosis. And how it does this is every time you contract a muscle, it's putting tension on your bone. When you do that, it stimulates your bone cells to produce more structural proteins and move minerals into the bone. This makes them stronger. And so by doing strength training, you're actually strengthening your bones as well. Um, and so this is incredibly important for everybody, but especially women. When it comes to your balance, strength training is absolutely vital because your balance is critical to preventing falls as you age. And the only way to increase your balance is to have strong muscles, because your muscles obviously support you when you are walking and just everyday activities, just standing. Um, so when you do strength training, it helps to not only improve your balance, but it helps reduce the chances of having an injury to like a joint or something along those lines, because it helps increase the number of collagen fibers within your tendons, which helps increase their strength as well. If your muscle is too weak, and over time it puts more stress on that connecting tendon, which ends up resulting in things like tendonitis or other types of injuries. In part of obviously doing strength training is you want to do some stretching. It helps keep your body limber and flexible, which also helps with your balance. A surprising benefit many people are not aware of when it comes to strength training is the benefit it has for your mental health. According to a analysis of 33 different clinical trials, this was published in JAMA's Psychiatry journal, and it shows that strength training can actually help with depression. And the thought is, obviously, there's some exercise-triggered endorphins. I mean, you get that endorphin hit just as much as you do with aerobic activity. You also get that with strength training. So there's some component of that. But the other thing they're thinking of, as far as from Harvard Medical School, is that by having to predictably overcome specific obstacles, such as, you're doing bicep curls, you're doing push-ups, you have a specific goal in mind as far as how many you're doing. By having to overcome that, it increases your mental resilience, which is very important. And another more recent research that they're doing is how regular strength training can actually improve your brain power across your lifespan. And the reason for this, it gets back to the whole increase in blood flow, the increase in oxygen, is that that doesn't happen just to your muscles, that happens all over your body, including your brain. Um, so this is why that strength training, it has so many benefits beyond just your muscles. It impacts your health overall. Um, a lot of people have concerns with strength training. Part of it is they don't want to look like a bodybuilder, and or they don't they will get too bulky and such. However, it's important to realize that in order to build muscle in that form of bulkiness, it's a very specialized not only workout routine but diet as well. So just doing regular strength training activities throughout the week and incorporating it into your normal exercise routine won't get you to that level. So it's not something you should have to worry about. And other people, they're like, oh, the best way to stay in shape and all that is to do aerobic activity. Well, this is important and you shouldn't cut this out. It's as your body grows fitter, you're going to have to do more and more of it, whether higher intensity, longer duration, whatever that is, in order to see more gains. With strength training, because you're constantly pushing your muscles, you're helping them see that gain basically every single time you do it. So the good news is there's a couple different types of strength training that you can do. Isometric is when you're contracting your muscles against something that's non-moving, like you're doing a push-up off the floor. Isotonic is when you're contracting your muscles through a range of motion, like doing bicep curls. A new different type that is sort of becoming popular is eccentric exercises, and this is focusing on lengthening the muscles rather than contracting them. And so this is like if you're in the squat and you're in the lower phase of the squat, you're actually squatting down, you're actually lengthening the muscles in your hamstrings. So there's a little bit of differences there, and sometimes getting connected with a personal trainer or something like that can help you with this. But there's also different methods of being able to do this, and you can do it at home or you can do it in the gym, however, what's easier for you as far as fitting in your schedule. Body weight exercises are great because you can pretty much do them anywhere. Obviously, your body goes with you, so you can do little or no equipment. So if you think of push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, planks, lunges, squats, stuff like that. Another great option that's incredibly portable are resistance tubing. These are very lightweight. They can easily be folded up and put in a suitcase if you're traveling, and they come in different levels of resistance. So depending on where you're at, you can start lighter weight and then gradually work your way up. And the good news is most of these are available in any sporting goods store or online. The one that most people are most common or familiar with are free weights like barbells, dumbbells, that sort of thing. And obviously you can buy these for at home, or you can actually have them, go to the gym and use what they've got there. Another thing that's mainly used at the gym, but if you're really going to invest in equipment and want it at home, are the weight machines. And these two are come in different resistance strengths and all that. And then the other concept is cable suspension training. And this is where you elevate part of your body when you're doing some sort of exercise. So if you elevate your feet while you're doing push-ups, it just increases the difficulty level. But before starting any workout routine, you always should check with your doctor. And then especially when you're doing strength training, it's important to do a warm-up for about 5 to 10 minutes and maybe some form of aerobic activity, because if your muscles are cold, they're more prone to being injured. By cold, I don't mean actually temperature cold. I just mean they're not doing some sort of exercise prior to doing the strength training. And then you have to select what type of weight or resistance that you're going to use. And what the current recommendations are picking something that's heavy enough to tire your muscles after a single set of 12 to 15 repetitions. And research is showing that if you do this where it's actually heavy enough, not so heavy that you can't do proper form, but heavy enough that you hit that point of muscle fatigue, and that's the key thing, is muscle fatigue. If you can get to that at 12 or 15 reps in a single set, then that's enough to actually cause your muscles to improve. And the whole point of when you're doing this is you're actually breaking muscle fibers, and in order for them to heal, that's what makes them stronger and more lean and all of that. And research is showing that a single set where you get your muscles to fatigue is better than doing 3 sets. And so once, if you start off small and you end up with, you know, it gets easy, then that's when you increase not the number of reps, but you increase the weight. Not significantly, but enough so it makes it difficult again. And then you just keep going with that. Key thing with any of this is if at any point something hurts, stop doing it. Maybe your muscles need a break. Maybe it's too much weight. But if at any point anything hurts, always stop. And this is where using the proper technique comes in so you don't get injured. Sometimes if you're unsure of how to start, it can be good to start with a personal trainer, or obviously there's lots of videos online. Look up somebody, and that way you're learning the proper form and know what to do in order to prevent an injury. And then the other big thing is making sure you rest one full day between working the same muscle group. That's why a lot of people, if you hear back day or leg day or something like that, you're actually taking a break in between, because you don't want to work the same muscles every day because you're not allowing them the time to heal. And the good news is that a lot of people see significant improvement in their strength and muscle tone with just 2 to 3 20 to 30-minute sessions per week. This is something that can easily be incorporated into your routine with aerobic activity. In fact, that's what the current recommendations are, is just getting 2 times a week, 30-minute session, doing moderate to intense strength training. And that is enough to keep that lean muscle mass on track so you're actually able to have the benefits. But the sad thing is because people are afraid to do strength training for whatever reason, they're afraid of getting bulky. They don't think it provides as much health benefit as aerobic exercise. So of the recommendations that are put out by the Department of Health and Human Services is that half the people do what's recommended for aerobic activity, but only 20% do what's recommended for strength training. And just how overall it improves your body and the benefits it provides and actually complements aerobic activity, people need to start including it more. I mean, the impact it has on your life overall is just amazing. And it impacts everything you do every day. I mean, just walking up the stairs or playing with your kids or grandkids. That's where strength training helps. And it's not to get bulky, it's to just allow you to do the things that you like to do for the course of your life. And while everybody's different, you know, for men, for women, from one person to the next, as far as how much they need, what type they need, and all that, that's where finding someone who can help you down that path and then listen to your body is able to get you to that point. So hopefully you guys found this helpful, and that I will see you in the next training. But until then, I want you guys to stay healthy. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to hear from you, or even just comment. Talk to you guys soon.